Hello everyone, welcome to the Asylum. My name is Dr. Jdub, and today we're going to be talking about how to identify the different types of lost frames. There are three types. There's skipped frames, missed frames, and dropped frames. We're going to talk about the differences between each of them because it's very important when it comes to troubleshooting lag in your stream. You know, a viewer can come in and be like, oh, your stream's lagging, and then you can look down in the bottom of OBS and it'll say dropped frames 0. It'll say like your bitrate's great, and you'll be like, well, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and teach you how to enable the stats dock so that you're able to see those frames being missed, skipped, dropped, whatever. Now, I will go ahead and warn you, if you are a Streamlabs OBS user, you actually don't have this option. I think there's like some sort of alert function that you can set up where it can alert you if you're missing or skipping frames. But from my experience with Streamlabs, when I had used it, gag me please, it doesn't have this. It doesn't have this at all. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to hop on my computer here, and we're going to enable the stats so that you're able to see them. What you're going to want to do is go to View, Docs, and then Stats. And then you'll be able to put this dock anywhere you want. It's that simple. I just wanted to show you on the screen so that you're not, wondering where to go or anything like that. That was pretty easy, right? Let's go ahead and talk about each one. We'll start off with the one that's kind of more obvious, dropped frames. Dropped frames are from your network. It's your connection to Twitch, connection to the internet, however you want to think about it. Basically, how I like to think of dropped frames is I like to think of your stream as a ball. To be able to get to Twitch's servers, it has to pass through a tube. Let's say that the tube is Twitch's servers, right? And then once it passes through Twitch's servers, your viewers see it. Probably not the greatest example ever, but follow me here. Let's say that when you're dropping frames, what's happening? What I like to say is happening is that ball is getting crushed, and it's starting to lose frames. It's starting to crumble. Your stream is actually losing frames off of that. And then it still passes through the tube, and then your viewers just see whatever's left, whatever actually got through the tube. This is why your viewers will see lag, because they're not seeing certain frames. Your audio might get in, usually it does, I think, from my experience, but your video won't. Dropped frames are very difficult to fix, mainly because, well, it's not really your fault. It's your internet's fault. It's not because of your PC or you or anything that you're doing. It's literally just because of your internet, or at least your connection to Twitch. That could also mean that it could be Twitch's fault, but most of the time it is probably just your internet. Number 2, not that we're going in any specific order or anything, is skipped frames. Skipped frames come from encoding lag. Encoding lag can happen because your encoder is not able to keep up. Basically what encoding is I've talked about this in a video before, but it's basically making your stream is a video file, right? And what encoding is making that file smaller, and so that it can be, shot over to Twitch's servers and then downloaded and decoded by your viewers. If you get encoding lag, like I said, that means that the encoder is not able to do its job properly. The way that I like to think about skipping frames is, let's say that you're streaming in 60 frames per second, right? So you've got 60 frames in the whole second. Let's say that your encoder can encode frames 1, 2, and 3. It needs to skip 4 because it can't keep up. So what it's going to do is it's actually going to skip over 4, and then, maybe it can do 5, 6, and 7, and then 8, and then 9, and then let's say it has to skip another one. Let's say it has to skip 10, so it'll go over 10, so you won't see 10. But you'll see 11, 12, whatever else whatever your encoder can do. There are a few different things that you can do with this. Mainly, make sure that you're checking your encoder settings. Usually you have two options when you encode. You have an option to encode with your CPU, which is using X264, or your GPU, which is using NVENC or nuNVENC. Now, if you have selected the appropriate option and you've tested the other ones and you're convinced that you have the correct encoder, I would do a lot of There are a few other things that you can do. You might be able to lower your in-game settings. You can also do things like lowering your output resolution. You know, you're streaming in 1080p, but you're having encoding issues. Try lowering it down to 720 and see if you have those same issues. Number 3, missed frames because of rendering lag. Rendering lag can happen because think of your stream as being an ongoing video file. And just like when you're done with a video or something like that, it has to be able to render if you're done editing it. Your editor has to be able to render the video file. Streaming is often the same way. It's just ongoing, right? So rendering lag can happen because your PC is not able to render the video file that it's putting out, that it's constantly pushing out to the internet. It can't render it to meet your settings that you have. So some of the things that you can do is a lot of the same of what we did with encoding lag. There's things like, you know, lower the in-game settings, lower the resolution. I highly recommend that if you're using a decent graphics card, that you put your textures, most of your graphic settings to medium, and then if medium doesn't work, go to low. Even on low, most games don't really look all that bad, especially if you're streaming at 720p. It's not going to be that big of a deal, trust me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all the cool YouTube stuff. And if you want to talk to me about anything that was covered in this video or videos prior, I do stream live on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Make sure to come to the chat. And if you are a streamer, you want to network with some other streamers, we do have a Discord. It's called the Streamernauts, down below. You can also follow me on Twitter for updates and stupid random shit that I have to say. A lot of it is actually relevant to streaming, so you know, definitely go ahead and follow me on there if you'd like. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and as always, stay crazy. Don't die. Well, apparently. Whoa! Whoa!